going on, everybody? It's your boy Mood616 here, and I am back with a brand new DVD slash Blu-ray slash 4K update for the months of November and December. I know it's like almost mid-January right now. I've been very, very busy. I've been trying to get this out, but it just hasn't worked out for time for me to do the update. It's rather large. It probably could be a lot bigger if like 30 of my packages didn't get misplaced in the post. It has been an absolute nightmare with the mail lately. The last like 2-3 months have been so brutal. Mostly with Amazon, it seems like every package is just not showing up. It's insane. I don't really understand why every other company that I order from, their packages always seems to show up. But then when it comes to Amazon, you know, you order something that's in stock and it won't ship for 7 to 10 days, and then it takes 7 days to get to you when it's only shipping from 8 hours. It's ridiculous. I have no idea what's going on, but it's almost become laughable to me because I've gotten to the point now where I'm really not even wanting to order anything because it's a crapshoot if something's going to show up or not. Like I have a few packages that should be here tomorrow, but I don't know, man. The tracking isn't really allowing it to maybe be that way. I don't know. It's really fucked up. But I digress. So there is a few things that I'm pretty pissed off that never showed up that I'd ordered, and but it is what it is, you know. So let's get into the 2 DVDs that I picked up. That's it. I picked up 2 DVDs, and of course they are both from the Raw and Extreme line from Wild Eye. And the first one is Harvest of Horrors. This movie apparently came out in 2020. Low budget shit, number 50 in the range or in the line. So it looks like some pretty terrible low budget shit that I'll get to eventually. Looks like some backwood shit. Killer Ghost Clowns. Oh wow. Sex Star Vampires, Backwoods Degenerates. Nice. Sounds right up my alley. All right, Harvest of Horrors. And lastly for the DVDs, I picked up In Furs. This one from 2016, number 53. I do have actually a bunch more of these things coming from the range, so hopefully they'll be showing up sometime. There was a bunch of pre-orders that came out in January. Some animated stuff that I'm actually really looking forward to. So, but yeah, In Furs, don't know much about it, but it looks very, very gory, just judging from that back right there. So that's pretty cool. All right, so moving into the DVDs, I'll start off with 2 or 3 just kind of standard ones, and everything else is here from boutique labels, and I cover a shitload of boutique labels in this update. But of course, you know, I got my Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday package, I think like mid-December or just before Christmas or something like that, and it was a big order. So but first up here, I did grab Malignant. I really wanted to rewatch it for before we did the top 10 of 2021 on the podcast, because I'd seen this one at the cinema and I liked it. I wasn't in love with it, so I really wanted to revisit it, and my mind really didn't change. I kind of came in the same spot with it. I do like it. It's a little bit over stylized at times, but you know, it's fun. It's fun. Like, I mean, we've all seen these premises before, which I have no problem with. But I was really taken back by this when I saw it in the theater, because I had no idea what I was getting myself into with this, and I was really shocked by the action sequences in this. It was pretty interesting, but you know, it's good stuff. But yeah, Malignant from James Wan, it's pretty decent. And I upgraded my DVD of Altered States to Blu-ray. Ken Russell film, very, very cool. It's been years since I've seen this, but I'm really looking forward to checking this out. I came across a used copy at my buddy's shop, so I was like, fuck it. Might as well jump on that for the price it is. Very, very cheap. So yeah, Altered States, really good movie from what I remember. So happy to upgrade that. And I picked up a 4K copy of Boys in the Hood because this thing was insanely cheap. Like, I think this was only like $15 on 4K, which is crazy. So I've had the VHS, I've had 2 DVDs, the Blu-ray, now the 4K of Boys in the Hood. Right. Gotta have it. Plus I've got the soundtracks and shit like that too. But yeah, Boys in the Hood, classic shit from John Singleton. Rest in peace to John Singleton. Such a powerful movie. It honestly makes me cry every time I watch it. It's that powerful. But yeah, looking forward to checking that out in 4K. Next up here from Umbrella. Upgraded. Well, I mostly got this for Part 5, because I do have a Blu-ray Part 4, but I really like these double features, and I actually had ordered the double feature with Part 2 and 3, which I only really wanted it for part 3 because I actually have 2 other Blu-rays of part 2. I've got this Shout Factory one, and I've got the standard one. But that never showed up. It got lost in the post. I got refunded. That was a piss off because I got it for like super, super cheap, brand new. So pissed it didn't show up, but kind of wanted it to just go with this. But yeah, no, I have a Blu-ray of part 4, just the standard one, but I got it for part 5 because I didn't have a Blu-ray of it. It's not that great, but I mean, I love the Death Wish movies, man. They're classic shit. Part 3 being my favorite one because it's so ridiculously over the top. Like, it's just Rambo in the streets, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I'm looking forward to checking these out, man, and see what the transfers look like. Especially for part 5 because I, just a DVD. So yeah, Charles Bronson, you gotta love him. A couple Blue Underground 4Ks I did pick up. Actually, the wife got me 3 of these. One of them still isn't shipped yet, and that's the other thing too. I don't know what is going on with things that have been like out of stock and then just never going back into stock. It's ridiculous. But she'd ordered me 3 Blue Underground 4Ks and 2 of them shipped. And this was back in November, and now it's mid-January and it still hasn't shipped, which is crazy. So, but yeah, I had to grab Fulci's 4K because I grab every edition of fucking zombie that comes out pretty much. I did watch the 4K and it looks fantastic. It looks really good. So, I mean, what do you expect from Blue Underground? They do really great restoration work on their 4Ks. So, but yeah, zombie, no slipcover. A little bit late to the game, but it doesn't really bother me. And the New York Ripper on 4K, another Fulci film, which, it's crazy because I have so many editions of New York Ripper, and the Blu-ray, the original Blu-ray that they put out looked fantastic. And then, did they put out a 3-disc? I think they did put out a 3. I might have grabbed that one too. And then I'm really looking forward to checking the Blu-ray on this, or the 4K on this, because, like I said, the Blu-rays they looked fantastic. It was like one of the best transfers that they had done. So, but it does have a slipcover. And the other one that the wife got me to was Maniac on 4K, which, like I said, hasn't shipped yet, which is bullshit. From Film Detective, we've got Flight to Mars from 1951. I really like Film Detective. It's a label that doesn't really get a lot of praise. Not a lot of people are talking about these guys. They've been around for a few years. I used to do reviews for them back in the day. And then they started doing Blu-rays and stuff, which is really cool. But I was really shocked at how well they're doing their transfers. Like, the transfers are fantastic. And I've heard really, really good things. I know my boy Simon, Explosive Action, picked this one up and said he loved it. Actually, was in his favorite releases of 2021, which I had already picked up. So I was glad to see that, he was enjoying it that much too. But yeah, looking forward to it. Only 72 minutes. So looking forward to checking out Flight to Mars. A couple Full Moon releases. We picked up Mania Killer. I don't know if this is a fucking... I swear this is a typo, because I've always known this movie as being Maniac Killer. And I know there's other editions, I swear, that say Maniac Killer on it. With Bo Svensson and Chuck Connors is in this movie. Directed by the one and only Andre Bianchi, who, of course, did Burial Ground, which is one of my favorites all-time zombie films. We know that. And it's probably like the highlight of his career, really. Strip News for Your Killer, I think he did that one too, which is, great exploitation shit. There's just so much nudity in that movie. It's amazing. For Giallo. This movie is terrible. This is fucking terrible. Like, I won't lie one bit. This is really bad. It actually kind of made me laugh in a few spots, but man, dude, it's just fuck. It's not a good one. It's not a good one. Transfer's good, though. I will say Transfer's pretty good. And then this is one I was really looking forward to. What year did this fucker come out in? 70? Is it 76? Put Your Devil Into My Hell, which I'm assuming is a Giallo, like a later Giallo. Yeah, so I don't really know much about it, but when I saw the title, I was like, holy shit, dude, that's kind of caught me off guard on this one, so I had to pick that one up. Yeah, hopefully it's good. Next up here from... What is the fucking... I'm just having like a total brain... Film Movement. Had to grab... I don't know what took me so long to grab this, because this is literally one of the greatest spaghetti westerns of all time. And that, of course, is The Great Silence with my man's Klaus Kinski. Directed by the one and only Sergio Corbucci. Like I always say, man, if you ever come across a movie that says Corbucci on it, and it's, spaghetti western, it's probably going to be fantastic. And this is literally one of the best ones ever. I haven't watched a transfer on this yet. Just haven't had time because it's I mean, it's like I've had the time, but I was prepping for 2021, and now I'm on to 94 and blah blah blah. Excuses, but I'll get around to it. So, but The Great Silence, I've heard this is just an amazing addition. So, I mean, really, you can't go wrong with anything Sergio Corbucci. And Klaus Kinski. He's a fucking maniac, crazy, but he's Kinski, man. From Saturn's Core, one of the sister labels that Vinegar Syndrome hosts on their website. They're pretty much like an all shot on video label. Well, they are an all shot on video label, which is fucking right up my alley because I love shot on video films. And Psycho Sisters is one that I've always known about, never seen it before. I actually have the Nightmare and Analogs book, or Analog Nightmares, and I've like read the whole thing. I love shot on video. It's just, I find it so fascinating. It's basically about these two sisters that get revenge because their younger sister was raped and murdered. But it's not just on... It's basically any male that they come across. And so they kill them, and they chop off their penises, and they put them in jars in their medicine cabinet, which is pretty funny. It's a cool premise. It was actually such a cool premise that this movie originally came out in 1994, and then it got remade in 1998, which I would like to see the remake. Apparently, it's a little bit higher budget, which, you know, I think anything would be higher budget than this, to be honest. Shot on video. It's pretty low budget. It's definitely a little bit too long for what it is. I like the premise more than the execution on the movie. It's not as gory as I would have liked it to be. I mean, as much as I... really don't want to see penis mutilation in movies. I always find it fascinating when you do see it. It could be more explicit. It really could. You do get to see the end results of a bunch of wieners in jars and shit. So, but it's not really that gory, and it's actually not that sleazy considering they're running around and like, yeah. But it's okay. It's okay, and it is what it is, man. It's shot on video film on Blu-ray. It looks as good as it possibly can. It sounds good though. The audio is actually really good. So Psycho Sisters, and then we got, this is one I've always wanted to check out. I haven't checked it out yet, and that's Duck, the Carbine High Massacre. And I believe this one came out in 1999. It's like right around the same time that the Columbine Massacre happened. And I think this is kind of what it's based on. I think this one was kind of, I think it was a little bit, I don't know, man. I think this one kind of got shit on when it came out because of the timing and stuff, and it was a little bit controversial, let's just put it that way. I gotta say, man, this artwork right here is pretty cool, though. It says the original bootleg VHS cover. It's pretty cool, man. I really like what they did with this. Looks awesome. But yeah, another shot on video film from, yeah, I guess 2099, somewhere in there. It's just after the Columbine murders. And then we got Shattered Dead here. Another one that I'd never seen. Always wanted to check it out. Again, I'd read on it and stuff. And I really like what they did with the slipcover, too. Look at that. That's pretty cool, man. So I did watch this. This is another one from 94. And actually, Saturn's Core, oddly enough, released 3 movies recently from 1994. And if you listen to the podcast, we randomly got 1994 as our next top 10 list. So that was really strange that happened that way. So, and it was 3 movies I was interested in seeing because, I do research on shot on video movies for whatever reason. But Shattered Dead has got to be one of the most depressing shot on video films I've ever seen. It's basically about this girl that is trying to get home to her boyfriend, and what has happened in the world is, people are dying, but they're not dying. Right? So they can't die. They're not really zombies. I guess they kind of are. They're just the walking dead, the living dead. It's a really strange premise. There's really no reason to why these people are doing this, but they can't die. And it's the fucking most somber movie and just depressing. And it does have a bunch of commentary in it. It's pretty interesting, actually. I really enjoyed it. It's not going to be for everybody, especially if you don't like shot on videos. And, it is very depressing to watch. So... But Shattered Dead, I enjoyed it. It's cool, from 1994. And then the last one from 1994, and Saturn's Core, which is Sorority Slaughter. Man, this one just looks... this is classic shit, man. It's just very, very classic. Because this artwork is... Like, how SOV is that shit right there? There actually is an alternate. I was like, which one do I like better? I'm like, I don't know. This one's even more... Look at that shit. It's so bad. I love it. It's great. But yeah, another one from 1994 that I'm probably going to check out, in the next couple days. So I'm getting my 94 prep on right now. So yeah, Sorority Slaughter. Very intriguing title, very original. Alright, so moving along with the sister labels here. We got another one from Fun City Editions, and I love this label, man. Fun City Editions is basically a label that they put out movies that really don't fit into any other type of genre and stuff, and I like that, man. And everything that they put out so far that I've checked out has been fantastic. Really interesting kind of range of films within the label. So this one right here is called Radio On. Very cool idea that they did with this. Obviously, it's like a cassette box, kind of a side loader and shit. Here's the front of it, and if you open it up, you get the full tape. Pretty fucking cool. I don't really know much about this, but oh wow, I'm seeing Kraftwerk on here. I don't know. Oh no, it must be just that. Is that the soundtrack? Because the Kraftwerk is actually on this. Man, I love Kraftwerk, man. Kraftwerk is one of the most influential groups of all time. They're a fucking amazing German group. Oh yeah, man, it's got like David Bowie. I don't know if this is actually, maybe it is a soundtrack, which I'm assuming it probably is. So 1979 film, and it sounded really interesting. I can't really remember. I remember reading on it, but I can't remember exactly what the premise is, but something to do with radio and music and shit, which is right up my alley. Hence being in the music room, right? So, all right. So moving along here with some AGFA movies, man. I was really shocked to see this get a Blu-ray release. And that's Boarding House, which is considered to be, one of the first, if not the first, shot on video film. I think from 1982, 83. I don't know. I probably should know that. I think it is like 82 or 83, something like that. But yeah, Boarding House. This is the original artwork. I do have other editions of this movie, like on DVD and shit. I thought that artwork that they used was actually pretty cool. It's pretty neat, actually. I liked it. So the interesting thing about this is that it says there's the Psycho Killer 1984 previously unreleased alternate cut of Boarding House. Now, I have seen the extended version of Boarding House, and I'm not sure if it's the same version. If someone knows, let me know. Which was released on the Slasher Video DVD. And I think, yeah, it was released on that release. And that cut of the film is like 2.5 hours compared to the original version, which is like 90 minutes or something. It's ridiculously longer. It's got to be the most boring thing you've ever seen in your life. It's literally everything that the director shot put into the fucking movie. It's insanely boring. So if you ever do, just watch like the normal cut. But I'm going to check out the Psycho Killer cut because it doesn't say how long it is. So I don't think it's the same cut. I'm just hoping it's not that 2.5 hour boring cut. But yeah, Boarding House, some more shot on video. I didn't realize how much shot on video I had in this update. That's crazy. But yeah, pretty cool slipcover. I like it. I can dig it. Yeah. All right, so moving along with the AGFA stuff. That was number 33 in the line. This is number 34. This is a pretty cool release here. We got Satanic Horror Night. The dual slipcover artworks. And then we got that right there. It's pretty cool, man. It's basically just a mixtape. Smut Without Smut, Satanic Horror Nights, an exclusive full-length feature mixtape. Preservation's 60mm prints from Something Weird, and the AGFA vaults. Uncut versions of Sacrilege, Devil Within, and Satan's Lust. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Maybe it's, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I love, trailer comps and mixtapes and shit like that. So, and they've released a couple of these, and they're pretty fun, man. They actually pull out some crazy trailers and crazy obscure shit that you've never seen on all the other type of trailer comps that we see and shit like that. But pretty cool to have. I'm gonna check that one out pretty soon. And then we got Bloodorama triple Frightmere. Yes, some more garbage from AGFA. And so what we have on here, we have Help Me I'm Possessed, Night of the Strangler, and Carnival of Blood. Now, if you were not familiar with these movies before you bought this and you watched this, say in one night, I hope that you didn't commit suicide after you watched all three. No, I'm sorry. But watching all three of those movies in one night would be horrendous. They're all pretty short. Help Me I'm Possessed, 76 minutes, Night of the Strangler, 88, 87 minutes for Carnival of Blood. Now, the funny thing is, I've seen all three of these movies in the past. Now, I'm curious to see these on a good transfer, but Night of the Strangler I watched for 1972. The funny thing about Night of the Strangler is that I believe nobody gets strangled in that movie. It's totally misleading. And then Carnival of Blood, I watched for the Top 10 of 1970 show. So oddly enough, like a lot of things that are related to the podcast and our random top 10 years that we get. So hopefully we get 1974 next and I can watch Help Me I'm Possessed. That's pretty funny. Again, because I just remember, like, Carnival of Blood had the worst transfer. It was so fucking bad. It was like a recorded VHS tape that had been played 1,000 times. It was bad. Night of Strangler, I believe, actually has a DVD from AGFA, which was released in Vinegar Syndrome back in, I think it's the same one. So anyways, pretty cool triple feature. Looking forward to checking them out again on a good transfer. It really does make the movie a lot better, man. You ever watched a movie? Like I always think of Drive-In Massacre. That's the greatest example of how a great transfer can change the complexity of a movie, because beginning of the movie, I didn't even know there was a decapitation scene because it was so dark I could never tell what the fuck happened. And I watched it on a great Blu-ray and I was like, holy shit, the whole movie's different. There's a decapitation. Fucking crazy. All right. So into the Vinegar Syndrome stuff here, we got Dario Argento's Trauma getting its Blu-ray release from 1993. You know, a lot of people always say, oh, this is Argento's kind of last great movie and stuff like that. I kind of disagree. I'm not even like the biggest fan of this. Although I'm not the hugest fan of the Stenzel Syndrome. I do like the movie. I think it's a better movie than this. And I think I even prefer Sleepless more to this too, which might be whatever, a hot take, but it is what it is. It's favorites. I'm not saying it's better. I don't know. But yeah, no, this one right here, it's a decent movie. It's kind of boring in parts though. That's what I've always thought. Like, we recently did this on the podcast. I want to say a couple years ago or whatever. But again, you know, it's Argento. I'll check out the Blu-ray transfer. His movies need these type of transfers because they always have good cinematography. Trauma. Now, I was super happy to get this. I actually do have a really good DVD release of this that actually has a decent transfer, because most of the transfers to this movie were utter shit. And mostly cut and shit too. I think there was like different versions of them. And that's Creature. This fucking slipcover is pretty cool. It actually does look pretty fucking cheesy, though. Like, insanely cheesy. I never really noticed how cheesy this was until I was actually looking at it today. I was like, holy shit. That's really fucking cheesy. Because this artwork is what I know it as. And most people that grew up with this shit probably know exactly what I'm talking about here. Oh, and it does. It actually does. I never even looked. So it does have the original Creature 95-minute version, which is the rated R version. It does have the Titan Find 100-minute cuts. Yeah, so they're both one's restored in 4K and the other one's in 2K. Okay, so that's good. So this is probably gonna look really good, because I gotta say, man, that DVD looked fucking pretty sharp, man. I was really impressed with it. So yeah, Creature, amazing. And man, you gotta check out this. You gotta show this, man. I laughed at this so hard. You want to talk about cheesy artwork? Look at that. I actually like it because it's so cheesy, but I'm not flipping it, man. I'm not flipping it because this is just classic. This is classic Creature. If you've never seen Creature, it's a great movie. Really fun. What year did Creature come out in? Is it 80? Yeah, I did watch it and that's another year that we had on the top 10 show, or in the podcast, was 85. And yeah, it was 85. Oh my God. Here's another movie that I watched, I think last year, in prep for the 1991 top 10 show that we had. And then it gets a fucking fantastic release from Vinegar Syndrome. And this one almost made my top 10. It was literally in my number 11 spot. And I bet rewatching this thing is probably even in there now, because I love this movie. And I love these type of movies. They just did it differently. And that's Steel and Lace. Can't wait to check out the transfer on this, because the one I watched wasn't too bad. It was a VHS transfer, but it was actually not bad. But yeah, Steel and Lace, it's a revenge movie done differently. And that's all I'll say about it. I won't ruin it, but look at that artwork. Fantastic. That's fantastic shit, man, right there. And then, oh yeah, the flip is just the same as the slip. But yeah, Steel and Lace. I highly recommend this. It's a really good movie. It's fun. If you like revenge movies and shit. But done a little bit differently. It's not kind of your standardized revenge film. So far into this, 25 minutes. We gotta hurry this up, man. I didn't want this thing to be over an hour. So next up, we got Ebola Syndrome on 4K. This shit just completely blew past Blu-ray. They said, fuck Blu-ray, we're going straight to 4K with this. Which I do believe there is a Blu-ray in here, but anyways. of the classic 1996 Ebola Syndrome Category 3 film. Yeah, my case came off. This was factory fucked up too. Like, you can see how this thing's all like, actually you can't really see on there, but it's all like mangled and shit. That was in the wrapper, just factory all fucked up. So kind of sucks because it's in a black case and I don't really have access to getting these as easy as I would like. But yeah, the classic Herman Yao film with Anthony Wong, who is just batshit insane in pretty much everything. Untold Story, Ebola Syndrome. I fucking love Anthony Wong, man. He's just such an amazing actor. But if you've never seen Ebola Syndrome, you got to check it out. It's just, it literally is the definition of batshit. The premise is so, even thinking about it right now is just so insane that you would ever even come up with something like this. I mean, like a lot of these Category 3 films, man, like the premises were pretty fucking out there. So, I can't even put it in that way because the wrap or the plastic's so fucked up. But yeah, it is what it is, man. I got slipcover. That's what it's for, right? Ebola Syndrome. You got to check it out. It's one of my favorites. It made my top 10 of 1996, actually, that we did back in the day. 96 is not a great year. A fantastic release from Gunpowder and Sky, which I don't know why I have this in the middle of Vinegar Syndrome stuff, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Of Summer 84. Another film that actually showed up on my top 10 list a couple years back, whenever it was. I really enjoyed this film. It really bugged me when this movie came out. Everyone's like, oh, it's just Stranger Things. And I'm like, it's just Stranger Things? Don't you think the premise of Stranger Things has been done like a million times back in the day? Like, come on, man. People just comparing shit to like the latest shit that's out is ridiculous. But I mean, you know, these type of buddy friendly kid movies have been done a million times. Really good release though, man. Look at this artwork right here. And you got that artwork. And then you got this artwork, which is fantastic. And, you know, like I said, you know, the whole voyeur thing that's going on, the whole rear window thing that's going on there. And then the inner sleeve is actually this one, which is kind of cool. But I got to show you this, man. This is really cool. Probably seen it a million times, but they actually came up with this milk carton that you can make. I'm not going to bend it all in and stuff, but look at this, man. This little fucking milk carton. So I'm going to put this somewhere, but how cool is that? Nice little add-ins. I love it. Yeah, super cool idea to throw that in there. Love it. Great movie. I know people are kind of indifferent on it. I think the ending's great. Hey, man, I like it. It is what it is. So, this was expensive, though, man. This was really expensive. Oh, and it is a 4K, by the way. So, Summer 84. And then, this is what I absolutely love. And I know Explosive Action, he said the same thing in his video. And it's like, when these things got announced, I was like, you gotta be shitting me. This is crazy shit, man. VSA number 18. Trilogy of Tiger Claws. How the fuck does this come out? Like, this is crazy shit, man. Cynthia Rothrock, who is in all three. I will say they kind of copped out on the third one a lot with her. The third one's actually a really bad movie. The first two are really fun. The third one is, it goes into a place where it's totally bizarre. But you definitely needed more Cynthia Rothrock in the film. Yeah, man. These are fun. They're fucking cheesy 90s shit. So 91, 96, and 99. So basically all set in the 90s. You know, there's some decent fight scenes, man. What's the dude? I can never say his name properly. The guy that stars in all three as her boyfriend, whatever. Jahil Mare? Yeah, I know the dude. And you know the dude if you saw him. If you're into action, kung fu, martial arts films and shit. Good release though. Like, totally unexpected to get a Tiger Claws trilogy. This is another one that made me laugh. I'd never seen this one before. Oh yeah, Bola Young. He's actually in both of these. Yeah, so he's in the first one and in the second one. I think they used footage in the third one of them too. And then we got TC 2000 with the one and only Billy Blanks. Tybo King, man. And Jalil Murray is in this one too. Plays kind of the bad guy in this one. And Bolo Young. Everybody knows him from Bloodsport, man. Fucking Bloodsport. He actually was he was a Chinese bodybuilder. You know, he's fucking huge, but I think he held that title for like Mr. China for like 10 straight years or some shit. And he, like, in, you know, the late 80s, early 90s and shit, like, the guy was old and he was still cut as fuck. But TC 2000, pretty interesting premise. It's like, it's a fun, stupid, ridiculous movie. Billy Blanks is such a bad actor, and there's something very, very charming about him. And, man, this is fun. It's fun. Man, God bless the people over at Vinegar Syndrome with this VSA line, because they are dropping some absolute gems. Straight up gems. All right, so we'll just do it like this. All right, so from Shout Factory on the Shout Select line, we got Nothing But Trouble, which I didn't watch for the 91 prep because I was always under the impression it wasn't really horror enough, you know, to kind of go into the list and stuff. And it actually did make some people's lists and shit. So that got me curious, and then Shout Select actually ended up putting on the Blu-ray shortly after we did the movie, or did the podcast. And I was like, you know, I got to check this out, because it was a John Candy movie I'd never seen before. And I'm such a massive John Candy fan, not because I'm Canadian, he's Canadian, it's just I love John Candy and I miss him dearly. He was just there was something very, very charming about that guy. But this is one of the weirdest movies, probably, that they've all starred in. Even like Dan Aykroyd and his brother, I believe, wrote this movie. And it's so strange. It's just absolutely batshit nuts, and like, it's so ridiculously over the top. And the crazy thing about this movie is that I didn't know that there's a scene where Digital Underground gets pulled into this courthouse, and they end up performing Same Old Song. And even Tupac is actually in there. He doesn't have any lines, but he's visible in many, many, you know, frames and stuff like that. Like, the craziest thing, I totally didn't know about that. And I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, the premise of this, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, just look at Dan Aykroyd right there. Like, it's crazy, man. Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, Demi Moore. You got Digital Underground, appearance by Tupac. It's pretty fucking interesting, man. Highly recommend it. It's so weird. It's one of the weirdest comedies I think I've ever seen. Next up here is a film that I know like nothing about, man, but it got me interested with the cast in this, and it's called No Way to Treat a Lady. I have never seen this. I think I was getting this mixed up with a different movie from 1968. Yeah, I've never seen this. So looking forward to checking this one out. Love me some 60s movies with, look at that cast, man. Rod Steiger, Lee Remick, George Segal. That's awesome, man. What a fucking cast. Then we got Lady in a Cage, oddly enough, with Lady in the title twice. And this one is also from, 1964. Looks like it's black and white, so that's pretty cool. So looking forward to checking this one out. Never seen it before. From Scream Factory. We're on the Scream Factory line now. And, of course, I just watched Trog for the 1970s show with Joan Crawford. Fucking drunk Joan Crawford in this. Which I actually like her in this movie. She actually does a pretty good job. I always really liked Joan Crawford, man. She was a great actress. Even when she was just going through some rough shit. Directed by, of course, Freddie Francis. Ridiculous creature feature. Oh, man. It's Trog. It's Trog. It's such a weird movie that Joan Crawford did, man. I just can't even believe it. Dracula, Dead and Loving It. Always known about this one when it came out, 95. Never saw it, though. I've never seen this film that I can recall. Who knows? I mean, this is when Leslie Nielsen was doing all these like spoof movies and shit. And this is all he did was just straight ridiculous comedies. Like, he wasn't just doing comedies. He was just doing over-the-top, stupid spoof shit. And Leslie Nielsen playing Dracula. I mean, yeah. And, of course, it is directed by Mel Brooks, but, yeah. We know what to expect from that. It's going to be probably pretty decent if it's Mel Brooks. So, all right. So, last one here from Scream Factory, which is Krampus, the Naughty Cut 4K edition. This is probably one of the most odd and disturbing releases of last year, because I really don't understand what the fuck Scream Factory was doing with this shit. So, this thing is labeled as the Naughty Cut, and I'm expecting, you know, from a title like that to be more gore, like, you know, a little bit more explicit, man. We do get a couple more swear words in this, some other exposition in the film. Like, there's not really much difference in this at all. But I don't really understand. Like, this is like false advertising, man. This is really not worth picking up the 4K unless you want it in 4K. But if you're expecting a lot of differences, like more gore and shit, which I think everybody was expecting with the naughty cut. It makes sense. It's a Christmas movie. You're going to call it the naughty cut, but at least have some differences and to warrant, buying it, the movie again. Yeah, like there's a couple new features on here and stuff, and that's really about it. But I mean, if you're in it for the movie, I don't know, man. It does look good. It really does look good on 4K, I will say. But is it worth it? No. Absolutely not. It's definitely not worth your hard-earned cash for shit. I can barely even remember what the fucking differences are. I don't think anybody can tell you unless they look it up on a fucking website or some shit. So, Krampus, that is one of the, like, I don't want to say worst releases because it's a great movie and it looks great and stuff, but just weird and stupid releases of the year, I'll say, for lack of a better adjective. All right, so getting into some MVD Rewind collection shit. We picked up Jack Frost 2. I didn't pick up the first one because I already have the Vinegar Syndrome, and I see no reason to pick up another copy of it. I believe I'd just be downgrading at that point. Only to learn that this actually has a fucked up disc. Like, apparently there's actually a scene missing in this they used from like the TV version or something. So they are going to be issuing replacement discs for this. So, if you didn't know, now you know. So, yeah, Jack Frost 2, which is just a tremendously horrible movie. I didn't even get around to watching it at Christmas time. But I thought it's better than the shitty-ass DVD that I have. It was like a double feature with Ice Cream Man that I owned. That was it. Because I never really cared, but yeah. So, yeah, there's going to be replacement discs for this. I don't know when they're going to be coming out. Maybe by the time this video's out, they're already going to be issuing. I don't know. But be on the lookout if you bought this. Yeah, I don't collect this whole line. People always ask me if I collect this MVD Rewind collection. I only buy the ones that I want, even though it is a numbered label. There's only a few that I do the whole range on. But this month I actually picked up a few because there was a few that I really wanted. But I had to pick up Drive because I absolutely love this movie. It's so much damn fun. Mark Dacascos, however you want to say his name. And I forgot, man, Brittany Murphy, how good. Like, she's so hot in this movie. Rest in peace to Brittany Murphy, man. Such a loss, dude. She was hot. But she does a good job in this film. I wish she was actually in it for more because her character is just so bizarre and just very likable. And but yeah, fun action film, man. I absolutely love this movie. I was so stoked when they were putting this out on Blu-ray. I was like, no way, Drive. I'm like, that's crazy. So yeah, Mark Dacascos. I always say his name wrong. I can never say his name properly. Yeah, it's a great one. If you've never seen Drive, if you're into action movies, kung fu, martial arts, kind of, I wouldn't say kung fu, but a lot of martial arts. The hotel room scene in this movie is fucking fantastic. Then we got My Samurai, which is one I've been wanting to get for a while. I love this slipcover. Now this is how you do slipcovers properly. It looks like a cut box. How cool is that? It looks like a damn cut box, and they did a really good job with this because it's like when you first look at it, you're like, oh, it's a cut box, right? One I have not seen. What got me interested is that Terry O'Quinn's in this movie. I was like, shit, that's pretty fucking cool. So I haven't gotten around to checking this one out, but, looks pretty damn cool. Picked up Showdown. This is one I had actually seen back in the day. Barely could remember it, but of course this one has Billy Blanks in it also, and a very young Christine Taylor, who is Ben Stiller's wife. Super hot. Cheesy as all cheesy. These movies were so big, these best of the best movies and these blood sport, like this era of films, man. There were so many of these like face-off fight movies and shit, and man, the score in this movie is so cheesy. I love it. It's just so early 90s. What is it, 93 I think? 94 it says. Yeah, 94 it says on here. It's awesome. I loved it. It was great. Then I picked up Black Eagle. Now, this is one that I remember from back in the day. And me not being like the hugest Van Damme fan, I know that's kind of sacrilege when it comes to like martial arts and action movies and stuff, but I'm a huge Sho Higuchi fan. And this has got to be the weirdest casted movie ever, right? Like, I'd seen this movie before, and I think I remember liking it better back in the day. But Sho Higuchi Koshiguchi, whatever, however you say his name. Revenge of the Ninja, one of my favorites. He plays an American CIA agent, and just doesn't seem like he should be. But then you got Van Damme, who plays, I think he plays a KGB, he plays a Russian, like a KGB person, and he really doesn't even talk in this movie. It's one of those where he's playing a bad guy, he's playing a foreign guy, and he really doesn't say a thing in this movie. The fight scenes are pretty lackluster in this one. They don't really face off a whole lot. But that's the thing with this movie. There's just not enough action in it. I forgot, like, how kind of lackluster this was. Pretty disappointed in this, to be honest. Considering Shoguchi, like, he is... I just love that dude, man. He, of course, has his kids in this movie, too. And I know his one son is, like, a big star, and he was in the ninja movies and shit. I think he was. And, but yeah, you can just see the little feistiness in him. Pretty cool shit, but, you know... It's cool to see that and stuff, but man, not one of the best ones that either one have ever done. So, getting to some Kino releases. Had to pick up CB4. Great upgrade. I love this movie. I saw it when I think the first day it came out on VHS back in '93. I was gotta check it out because there was like hype about this shit and stuff. And oh man, I'll never forget hearing Straight Outta Low Cash and just being, this is the funniest parody song ever. Like, I was just dying laughing at that shit, man. It's so funny. MC Gusto. Oh man, it's just classic shit. Everyone that's seen this movie knows what I'm talking about. It's crazy awesome. But Chris Rock, of course, we got Chris Elliott. Rest in peace to Phil Hartman. Alan Payne. Alan Payne's fucking fantastic in this. I'm black, yo. I'm black, yo. I'm blackity black and I'm black, yo. Shit, man. That is so funny. I love that part. Yeah, I gotta check this out. It's been years since I've seen it. Picked up She. This is also from 1985, post-apocalyptic shit with, I can never pronounce her name, Sandel Bergman? Of course, she was in Conan the Barbarian, Red Sonja with Arnie. Very, very sexy, but it's been so long since I've seen this. I remember renting this back in the day, and yeah, I'm a big fan of these type of movies, so post-apocalyptic shit. Anything, I'm down for it. Filmed by Jean Herman, which I've never seen. I've never seen this Bronson film, and I finally got my hands on it. I've been wanting this thing forever. Actually, the wife bought it for me for Christmas, and so I was like, thank you, that's awesome. But yeah, one I've never seen, so I don't really know much about it, but it's Bronson, and you know, you got to have everything that Bronson's in. I picked up 3 Mario Bava films here that I didn't have from Kino. Upgraded Knives of the Avenger. I do have this in a box set. It's been years since I've seen this kind of sword and sandal film. I remember digging it, though. And that was one thing about Bava, is that, you know, people know him as a horror director, but he obviously, like a lot of journeyman Italian directors back in the day, were kind of forced to do other films of different genres. It's really just how the studios operated. And so here's one of his sword and sandal movies, Knives of the Avenger, which I thought was pretty damn cool. And this one was right in between... when did this one come out? 66. So it was around the time that he did Blood and Black Lace and shit like that. And yeah, it was like horror, just mixing it up, man. Knights of the Avenger. Been years. And then this one is so bizarre. 4 Times That Night. This is like a comedy from what I remember. 1971. So this is like coming off of like Bay of Blood. And he ends up doing this fucking weird ass movie. One of the most... Yeah, so I'm pretty sure... Yeah, swinging sex comedy. Like, what the... Like, it's been years since I've seen this. I can't really remember it too well. And this one I've actually never seen before. Got Reg Park, man. Good old Reg Park, who I believe played Hercules in a bunch of these movies. I think that's really all he ever did in his career was play Hercules. And, of course, Christopher Lee in a Mario Bava movie, Hercules in a Haunted World, which I do believe has horror elements to it, but it is a Hercules movie with horror elements. 1961, so coming off of like Black Sunday and basically in between Black Sabbath, I believe. This is like right between those movies, I want to say. So yeah, he's got a very eccentric or eclectic, I should say, more eclectic filmography Mario Bava does. But yeah, had to pick him up because I'm a huge Mario Bava fan, and some of those are upgrades, and yeah, it is what it is. So this one right here from Fractured Visions, man. I do have the new one coming too. It has been in the post for so long, like so many of my items. I don't know if they're going to show up or not. I really hope that the other one shows up, which the title is totally evading me right now. But I had to grab this because I'm a huge Sergio Martino fan. I love Thomas Milian. 2 of my favorites. I mean, teaming up. I mean, you can't not pick this up, and it's style and action. I've been wanting to see this one for a long time. I believe I actually used to have a bootleg of this. And I don't think I ever watched it, to be honest, which is ridiculous. I think my bootleg may have been in Italian. I think original Italian mono audio, so with English subtitles. Yeah, so I think my bootleg may have not had English subtitles, so I didn't watch it. Obviously, I'm not gonna. What am I gonna do? Just stare at the screen and fucking? Oh, that's maybe what he said. But yeah, silent action. Martino, Thomas Milian, Police Chitsy film. Crime shit. Yeah, awesome. Oh man, finally got my hands on this. I've been wanting to see this movie for years. Ever since this got released from Drafthouse Films, I have been wanting to check this out because I've always heard the stories about this. Is literally like one of the worst bad movies ever made. Like legit worst bad movies by somebody that was trying to make a legit good movie. And I love that. I love that when you put all your heart into shit and the movie just turns out shit, but you can see the heart that went into it, and it's awesome to watch. Yeah, from John S. Rad, which is the greatest fake name. I'll just say fake name. I guess alias if you want to get more technical with it. And that's Dangerous Men. Now, if you've never seen this film, man, you have to see this shit. You have to see it to really believe it, because they were really seriously trying to make a movie. This movie was plagued with production problems because they started filming in the 70s. They did a bulk of it in the 80s, and then they finished it in the 90s, and it was actually released into cinema in Hollywood, or into, wherever in California, in 2005. So it actually, and he had just passed away. He never actually got to see, I think he passed away just before. Anyways, so it's kind of interesting because you can tell the 70s shit, and then you can tell the 80s, because the one lead actress here was a little bit older and bigger, but then apparently she broke her leg while they were filming in the 80s, so she didn't return when they reopened up production in the 90s, so they had to like create a whole different like subplot line in the film, and then you get introduced to these characters towards the end that weren't even in them. It's fucking ridiculous. It's so funny, man. I was dying. The music is hilarious in this. Oh, the fight scenes. This is one of those beer movies that you throw on with all your buddies. It's the ultimate, man. You pair this up with like Miami Connection, Ninja Busters. There's so many movies that are so bad they're good. Yeah, Dangerous Men. Highly recommend it. Amazing. Oh, this is the upgrade I've been wanting, because I actually do have another Blu-ray of this, but the Blu-ray is trash. It says it's director's cut, but the Blu-ray looks shitty. It's just like an upscale. Criterion put out Menace to Society, which, from 1993, classic film done by the Hughes brothers. What can you say about Menace to Society, man? It's a fantastic film, fantastic soundtrack. It's just, it's a strong movie. That's all I'll say. So I'm really looking for, I really do like, as much as I love the original artwork and stuff, I think this is pretty cool what they did. So it's got a kind of like a digibook type thing, and kind of an interesting addition. On here with Kane and O-Dog. Yeah, I can't wait to check this out, man. Maybe I'll do a double feature with CB4 one of these nights. So yeah. All right, jumping over to 88 Films, which is the first one here from the Shaw Brothers line. Actually, this is a Region 1 release. That's kind of cool that they're starting to put all these in Region 1, so easier to get. Which is the Chinese Boxer with Jimmy Wang Yu. And here's the original artwork. And I gotta say, man, I am so pissed at this, because I've taken off, because I have a bunch of slipcovers from the line, but anyways, and some of them I don't, so I took all the slipcovers off because I like the way they look just with the spines on the original. Well, what they did in the Region 1 releases, they have the same spine on the original artwork and stuff, but they forgot to put the actual numbers because it's a numbered line. Can you fucking believe that? So they have the numbers, and I know this is nitpicky collector shit, but I'm very, very OCD when it comes to this type of shit, and I noticed it right away. So they have the number on there, but it's on the newly commissioned. So these are technically the spines that they use, but they have them usually on the original or side. So, but they didn't put them on this. And so, but anyways, I guess I'm just gonna have to flip them, and so they all line up properly. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if that was kind of a mistake to not have the other spine on the original artwork, which would have made a lot of sense. But as many people have pointed out, you can see it's right there with the number. And see, this side doesn't have it. But it's the slipcover. Are you serious? Anyways, I haven't watched Chinese Boxer yet. Enough of my complaining, bitching, and moaning about stupid, trivial collecting shit. But it was something I noticed and something I wanted to bring up. So you don't have to feel bad for me. It's not the end of the fucking world. So I've heard it's pretty good. I've heard this one's a lot better, though. Disciples of Shaolin. Can't wait to check this one out. It looks pretty fucking cool. Here is the, well, same artwork again with, they have the spine on the wrong side. The wrong side. Because I love, there's something I love about like Asian artwork, well, especially Hong Kong artwork. They always look so damn cool. These retro or the original artworks are so cool, man. But spine's on the wrong side. Because I like to have the original artwork. But I guess I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet on these ones, and I'm so sad. It is what it is. I love this line. I'm just happy that they're coming out Region 1 now because they're just a lot easier to get. And of course I grabbed Riki-Oh, Story of Ricky, the Monster Edition, Category 3 classic film from 1991 is another movie that actually made my top 10 list. I know it's not even, it's not really horror. It's not horror. It's not horror. It's great exploitation, gory exploitation, amazingness. This movie's so fucking awesome, dude. I could watch this shit all the time. It's another great movie to throw on with your buddies where you're drinking beers and shit, because it's just, every time you look at the screen, like someone's getting punched right through and shit, and it's amazing. It's super, it's ridiculous gory. Also known as Cage Fury, which Cage Fury makes it sound like it's a women's prison film for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. But it does make sense because, you know, it is a film that takes place in a jail. It's ridiculous. Amazing addition from 88 Films. All right, so we're getting there. Ooh, I might even be able to do this under an hour. Shit, yeah. So moving on to some Arrow things. I finally got around to picking up Death Has Blue Eyes from Nico Masarakis, the Greek director who has gotten so much love in the last few years, man. Especially from Arrow, they've been dropping so much of his films, which is fantastic. This original artwork is so cool, man. I really like that. If you go to buy this movie, you will see... Wow, this thing doesn't want to pop out. That's what she said. Death Has Blue Eyes. That's the cover that you will see. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this. This one is from 76. One I did not watch for the 76 show. I can't believe all these movies are from like years that we did on the podcast. I guess we've done a lot of them though, but weird. But Death Has Blue Eyes. Looking forward to checking that one out. I think I tried to find it, or maybe it actually isn't from 76. Maybe it's from, I don't know. Sometimes the years are wrong. We go by IMDb. But anyways, so Arrow put out motherfucking Death Screams from 1982. This is a cool slipcover, by the way. That's really neat. That original artwork, fantastic stuff. Man, this movie still... I have seen this movie a few times. I rented this back in the day. I watched it for the 82 prep. Another one we did on the show. God, this is crazy. And I remember when I watched it for the 82 prep, I was like, man, this movie is so bad. It's got this weird, likable charm to it. And it's all because of the ending. Because basically, it's a slasher movie, right? And a lot of slasher movies do explain why the slasher's doing what they're doing. This one right here, people just start getting knocked off, and like you're like moments away from the end of the movie, and you're like, "What the? What is the explanation? What happens in the end?" It's the funniest shit. I don't want to give it away. I wish I could, but it's just so damn funny. But there's an interaction between a character and a sheriff, and what is said, literally, it makes you question what the fuck you just did with the last 90 minutes of your life. It's that baffling. They try to do a little explanation. It's so funny what they do. It's a terrible movie, but there's something odd. The charm of this. Actually, the lead actress in this movie, which I think is it this chick right here? Yeah, no, she's a lead, but I'm trying to remember if I think she's like an ex-porn star. I think it's her. I could be wrong. I think it is, but she is like the best actress in the movie too. It's just kind of ironic, you know. Comes from porn, and she's like the best one in the movie, which I didn't even know until I was reading up on it just the other day. All the times I've seen it, I didn't know that. But all right, also from Arrow, we got Mila the Stone Woman. Can you believe that this movie got this type of treatment? Holy shit! It was once a Mondo Macabro release that has been out of print forever. Didn't even own the DVD. Missed that one back in the day, and when Mondo DVDs go out of print, they go to the point where you can't afford shit. So this one actually has 3 different versions of the movie. There is well, technically I think 2. So there's the 96 Italian and English export versions, and the 90-minute French version, and the 95 US version. So actually there is 3 different versions on this movie. So 96, 90, yeah. So Arrow gives this movie fucking the royal treatment with 3 different cuts of the film in this special edition. The French and US versions are exclusive to this set, so but I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm really curious to revisit this. I guess I'll watch the original Italian version, I guess. Awesome edition. Very, very cool. Now, this is just the most fucked up thing ever. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, gets the special royal treatment. How the hell does this slasher film get this type of treatment, man? I really don't understand how the fuck this happens. And I'm thinking it's because, I mean, this is like definitely a bottom tier type slasher film. It has its charm, though. I love the fact that it's set in a mall. It's got Pauly Shore. It's kind of got Pauly Shore in it before Pauly Shore is Pauly Shore. He's still kind of got that minor buddy thing happening, but he's not Pauly Shore yet. But I think they did this because there is 3 different cuts of the movie on this. We got the theatrical, and on the second disc, we've got the TV cut and the fan cut, spelled PHAN. That's awesome. Which, the composite fan cut combining footage from both the theatrical and the TV cuts to make a 96-minute version. So there's a 90, 89, 96-minute versions of the film on here. I mean, the premise of the movie is really interesting. That... Well, I'm not really going to say anything about it. Just check it out. It's worth it. It's not... I'm not going to say it's a top-tier slasher movie, but it's definitely entertaining. And like I said, like I'm one of the biggest... I love movies that are set in malls. As I'm wearing a Dawn of the Dead shirt. Original, by the way. Which has this really cool... Yeah. It's, you know, one of those work shirts. It's a little bit too big for me. It makes me kind of look... No. Yeah, so... It's set in a mall. I fuck with that. You know, I just honestly wish that it was... There was things that were a little bit different about it, but... Pretty cool edition. Oh, man. Talking too much. All right, so from Criterion, I finally picked up the Lone Wolf and Cub box set. With all 6 of the movies, plus the Shogun Assassin cut. Which is fucking cool, because I wasn't sure if it was actually on it. And it's actually on its own disc. Now, the weird thing about this set... I think it's pretty cool. It's a little bit underwhelming for Criterion, to be honest, because I mean it's a nice kind of not digi book, but like one of these kind of digi things. So it's a 3-disc set, and remember there's 6 movies, so there's 3 movies on the first disc and 3 on the second, and then this 3 gets the Shogun Assassin cut gets its own disc. I thought that was a little bit strange that they would put 3 on one disc. I wish they had done this set a little bit differently and maybe kind of extended the discs. And I don't know. 3 movies on one disc seems a little bit strange to me. Now, let me know if... I'm sure the transfers are good. It's Criterion. And, you know, 3 movies can fit on a disc, but it just seems very odd to me to see that in today's day and age. I know this one's been out a few years. I'm kind of late to the ball game. It's not really late to the ball game. It's just the Criterion 50% off sales here are not really worth shit. So, oh, my allergies are kicking in. Yeah, this is came out in 2016. But I love these movies, and I can't wait to revisit them, man. I'm a huge fan of Shogun Assassin. So, all right, so we got a couple more here from Kino Classics, and then we got the Film Noir Dark Side of Cinema Volume 3 set, which is pretty damn cool. We got The Sleeping City, which I've heard good things about. The Lady Gambles. I haven't seen any of these. I'm very kind of newbie film noirs. I always say I've seen a lot of film noirs. I've actually seen a ton of them, but these sets always seem to put out movies I've never seen. So if Donny or anybody watching this can just let me know, because I know Mr. Cinemaniac 77, aka Donny. Shout out to Donny. Huge fucking fan of these movies. Film noirs and shit. So yeah, that's volume 3, which is pretty cool. And then we got volume 4, and they just released volume 5 as I got 3 and 4, which is weird because I couldn't find it on Amazon or anything. I couldn't even find it. It was weird. Six Bridges to Cross, Tony Curtis, and In the Act of Murder. And then we got Calcutta. So with Alan Ladd, that's cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of noirs, man. It's like kind of an underappreciated subgenre or genre of film, I guess you want to call it. But there's so many good ones. There is some bad ones though, but like those. All right, so going back to Vinegar Syndrome, man, we got this ridiculous edition of Flesh of Frankenstein. It's just ridiculous. It's such a nice hard case. I love the whole stitching on here. I do think it's a little bit odd that they didn't put the title on the spine. I don't mind this at all because it's not like you're gonna be like, what is that addition to my collection? I can't remember what movie that is. I gotta pull it out and read the front. Oh, it's Frankenstein. Are you fucking serious? Like, this is pretty. It was the same thing. I remember when that box set of Friday the 13th came out, the tin set with kind of the digibook thing, and it didn't have Friday. That was kind of bullshit because like it was just so plain. At least this one has stitching and has some color and it has something to it. But I get where people are coming from in this. I've heard a couple people complain about it. But yeah, it is a little bit odd. But Flesh of Frankenstein, the freaking 4K of Flesh of Frankenstein. Wow, this is the era of releases, the golden age of collecting right now. Absolute golden age. I've been saying this for a couple years now because the shit that we are getting is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. So I haven't seen Flesh in a while. I actually do have another Blu-ray. I think it's more of like an upscale, but then it of course comes with the 3D version Frankenstein, Flesh of Frankenstein, which is pretty cool, and it's your standard kind of blue and red glasses type deal. So it comes with two sets over here. I always do that. I always get fucked up backwards. But very cool edition. I'll probably never watch the 3D because I absolutely hate 3D, and most people that know me know that I hate 3D. I just never been a fan. Can't get into it. Honestly, it hurts my eyes. I have very sensitive eyes, and it's actually coming from my optometrist. He's like, because I squint a lot, and I have like 20/20 vision. It's just light hurts my eyes. Hence why I used to wear sunglasses in all my videos. People used to ask me all the time, why do you wear them? And I'm like, because I got the lights on, and so many people are complaining. So I'm just like, it's tired of the comments. So I stopped wearing them. And I'm probably squinting right now because the light up here is bright. And anyways, I digress. New York Ninja. Holy fuck. Okay, so I'm sure you guys know the story about this. Vinegar Syndrome acquired the uncut 35mm prints of this film. It was an unfinished film that was done in 1984. With that, all the audio was lost. So basically, this guy that started working at Vinegar Syndrome decided that he wanted to cut the movie and actually make a movie out of this. So once he came up with a cut of the movie, he had to write a script. Then he had to cast people, and then they kind of had to match up the voices and stuff to basically create a narrative. Fucking cool, man. One of the coolest things I've ever seen on how the film was made. It turns out really well. Honestly, it did turn out really good. This is one of those films that could kind of be in the same category as like A Dangerous Man. It's not as bad as that though. Like, it actually is done pretty decently. And I'm forgetting the guy that it was directed by, the guy that stars in it. What the fuck is his name again? John Liu. Yeah. So I knew I even recognized him from some old school films that he was in and shit. And so yeah, John Liu, who actually stars as as New York Ninja in this. But it's got like a great cast, man. Don the Dragon Wilson actually plays the voice of John Liu in this, which totally makes sense. It's Don the Dragon Wilson. It's fucking amazing. Leanna Quigley has a voice in here. I think Cynthia Rothrock, Ginger Lynn Allen, which is pretty cool. Michael Berryman plays the voice of the bad guy in this. And he does a fantastic job, too. Like, his approach to the character had me bawling, man. I loved his voice and how he took the character. Because, like I said, they have nothing to go off of. They have to recreate the emotion of the characters. And you almost create the character yourselves. Pretty cool shit, man. But I love this. The original soundtrack that they made for this movie, the music is so good in this. It's so authentic sounding to what you would have done with a synth soundtrack in 1984. Done original, brand new. The only thing I'm pissed off about this release is that they didn't include the soundtrack because they had it done specifically for this. I don't know why they couldn't actually put it in here. But Bronx Style Bob actually had done the 12-inch single of New York Ninja back in 1984. An MC from New York and stuff, and I'd actually known about that song for years, and I didn't know that it was actually a song from a movie. I just knew it as New York Ninja, and they play it in the end credits, and I thought that was super damn cool that they did that, which is a little bit of just a little bit of facts there, which I hadn't really heard anyone talk about that, but I'm like that shit. So, but New York Ninja. Next up here, I bought the empty box of the Rudy Ray Moore films because I owned all these movies. And this blew my shitter out because they had released Dolomite. And then I think about a year, maybe two, I don't know, a while later, they released Human Tornado, Peter Wheatstraw, and Disco Godfather. And I said to somebody one time in a conversation, I'm like, why didn't they release this in a fucking box set? Right? And then completely forgot about this like years later. And all of a sudden, Black Friday, that you can buy the empty box, so you can buy all the films in it. I'm like, that's so damn cool. I wish other companies would do that, like Arrow, with these Giallo sets that they're releasing, because I have all the films that are in them from Arrow. I wish they would just release the empty boxes so I could, because I love box sets. If I can put my movies into a box set, I'm happy, man. I love box sets. That's why I always have so many of my updates and shit. I'm a sucker for these, and you know, these are awesome. We all know the sets. You could beat people up with these. And last from Severin, which is actually the only Severin release I even picked up in this whole update. I just realized, crazy. It's the Nasty Habits Nunsploitation collection with Christina Devil Nun, Story of a Cloistered Nun, Images in a Convent, and the True Story of the Nun of Monza. Man, this is the age that we're living. We're getting fucking Nunsploitation box sets, which is absolutely fucking amazing. This is the one I really wanted to see because I'm a massive Bruno Mattei fan, and he directed this one, Nun of Monza. It's a very early... Oh, no, it's 1980. Oh, shit, I thought it was earlier. Oh, okay. So, yeah, whatever. So that one's done by the classic Bruno Mattei. This one right here is done by Sergio... I don't know. 1972, which I did not watch for the show that we did. Christina Devil Nun. Didn't know about it. Story of the Cloistered Nun. Is this one done by Damicello Padiella? Butchered it. Yeah. And then Images in a Convent, which I believe is done by Joe D'Amato, which makes sense that he would have done sleeves like this. Can't really show much on these because there's nudity all over the places. 1979 Joe D'Amato film. So, and I love Nunsploitation. It's a subgenre that I've loved over the years. So when this box set got announced, I was like, holy shit, that's so damn cool. Love it, love it, love it. And yeah, so that's the Nasty Habits box set. Holy shit, that update is finally done. Ooh, it's shorter than the last one by about 5 minutes or 6 minutes, 4 minutes. Okay, so this might be my last update for a little bit. Depending on how the rest of these packages work out with me receiving them, I might take a break from collecting because I can't get anything in. I have no idea what's going on. I'm very, very convinced that the courier that delivers a lot of the Amazon stuff is stealing packages. As I used to be a courier, I know how it works. A lot of this shit isn't making sense because I've contacted, they've never received any of these packages back. And I'm like, how the fucking 20 packages go missing in a matter of a month and a half? I have had packages where my packages are opened and it's almost like they're looking to see what's in my packages. And then all of a sudden they all started disappearing. So I don't know, I'm speculating, but it can't be just coincidental that so many packages are going missing. I know we had a lot of issues with the flooding here and blah, blah, blah and stuff. That really did affect things, but it's so much past that, and it's still happening. It's actually getting worse. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's very, very frustrating. I would spend more time on Amazon dealing with returns and stuff like that than I do actually enjoying these movies, which is just a headache, and it's making collecting a nightmare. And you know, and it sucks too because, like I said, it's like a golden age of collecting. I want to buy more stuff, but it's just getting to the point where is the headache really worth, you know, going through all this? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I actually just got contacted by a Discog seller tonight, and he'd contacted me a couple times about a CD that he'd sent me and stuff, and I'd messaged him back tonight. I said, hey bro, I still haven't got it, just letting you know. And he goes, oh, by the way, I received it back. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So anyways, I digress. If you're still with me in the video, just say Charz, because no one's still watching. It's like 70 minutes in this video. But anyways, I digress, and I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. So I got some more 1994 movies to watch, and yeah, I'll check you guys in the next update. Hopefully it's sooner than later, because I really don't want to stop because it's so addicting. No, it's just fun. But anyways, guys,